a production of South Carolina ETV.
Welcome to Stateline. I'm Charles Bierbauer. Consider a man who's been a fixture in national political circles since 1966. And now at age 81, when most men have long retired, he's pondering his political future. Senator Ernest Hollings is that man. Welcome, Senator. Thank you for
Charles.
joining us.
Nice to be with you.
Well, I've got to ask you, the 2004 election, are you going to be running for re-election?
We don't know. We've got a good decision to make. I'd like some good candidates to come out. I'm not holding anybody back in the Democratic ranks. In fact, in the 98 race, we searched out. But all our young political leaders in, let's say, the state Senate or the House in Columbia here, they're making too much money or they got good families and don't want to have to move to Washington.
You're looking for a challenger for the Democratic nomination?
Yeah, I don't mind a challenger. I'll have to make up my mind here sometime of the year, but after all, you folks in the media, y'all want a 4-year campaign and everything else. We got plenty of time next year.
Well, I'm wondering, I mean, are you now sort of inviting them to come forward and saying, but if there's no one out there, then I'm good to go?
I've been doing that for several years, yeah.
But I'm good to go.
I was ready in '92 to go out and make a living. I like it and everything else of that kind, but I got other responsibilities and I like to do some work, and it's just a dogfall, a Mexican standoff now in Washington. There's not any fun, and anybody tells you it is fun, they lie.
Meaning you can't get anything done?
Oh, no, that's everything. I mean, it's all a sham. Here we got a war on. Can you imagine it, and not even pay for the war? I mean, I know we've been running the government in the red and deficits. Here for 8 years, we finally got it into the black and everything else. We had a pay-as-you-go government when President Clinton left town, and this rascal comes to town, President Bush, and he's got nothing but tax cuts, which has lost 2 million jobs. He says it's going to stimulate to get jobs. It's been losing jobs. That's how we created 8 million jobs by raising taxes and paying the bill. So I said, well, at least with the war, because in the Revolution, we had a property tax. Abraham Lincoln, in 1861, he put in a tax on dividends and he put in a tax on estates. Here, George W. Bush, the party of Lincoln, they want to take the tax off of dividends and off of estates and saying, oh, don't worry about it in the war, we just have to run in the reds. The country's ready to sacrifice. They are sacrificing as we speak in Iraq and in Afghanistan, the world around. And what we're telling that poor GI that got into Iraq now, we hope you don't get killed. And the reason we hope you don't get killed, we want you to hurry back so we can give you the bill. Me, I ain't gonna pay for it. I need me a tax cut so I can get reelected next year. Now that's about the crassest, sorriest Congress and administration that I've ever been associated, and I've been in government 50 years.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about the war and the kinds of things you're raising here, but I was trying to get the sense of the thought process that's going on as to what will determine your decision. Having said all these things about how tough it is in Washington, what are your criteria for making a decision?
I don't have criteria. Let's not get into that and move on to another subject. I'll make up my mind and I'll be glad to call you.
Okay. Rough time frame?
No time frame.
You're talking about the state of the war. Let's stay with that, and I'll come back to some other political things afterwards. Is the war moving pretty much in a manner that you thought it would? Has it moved in an acceptable pace to the conclusions that you would have liked to see?
Oh yeah, the military has done an outstanding job. I mean, you know, it's like the Washington Redskins coming down and playing the football. I mean, come on. They had nothing, Iraq. We had control of the North. We had control of the South. They didn't have a plane. They didn't even surface one. So we had total air superiority, helicopters, everything else of that kind. And they did a wonderfully coordinated task, getting in there with as few casualties as possible. We don't fault the military, we fault the administration, the way with what we have done it. In other words, this smart aleck approach, are you either with me or against me? The time is up. The UN is irrelevant. Now you've got poor Secretary of State Powell running around Europe and everywhere else saying, oh, wait, excuse me, you are relevant. We need your help. We want your help, that kind of thing. So that, I can give you exactly my feel about the way we've done it. As when President Bush was getting last week back on the plane from Ireland, he turned around and he put out his little pigeon breast like a citadel freshman, and he says, I am told some over here wonder whether I mean what I say. Ask Saddam. And then he went up the steps. Now, come on, what kind of way of doing the thing is that? So what happens is you don't even get Mexico and Canada. If you look here, they talk about the aligned and the willing and all of that. That's nonsense. When you can't get Canada, Mexico, Belgium, France, Germany, Russia, Turkey, we've got Turkey, Germany, France, all in Afghanistan with us. They just had a different opinion about how to do this thing. You know what I mean? So he should have been more diplomatic and less smart aleck about the blooming thing. We'd have some friends, we'd have a coalition like his father got.
What's the long-term consequence of not having had that coalition?
It's all kind of turmoil. And instead of welcoming us right this morning, they're saying you occupiers. They haven't been rejoicing. There was a momentary rejoicing, but now they're the clerics and all are coming out and saying, "We get out of here.
Is that a correct term? Is the U.S. now an occupier of Iraq?
No, we're not necessarily. We're going to have to be an occupier to get law and order and get a government organized, and it's going to be that much more difficult because we did it the wrong way. We should have gone there and gotten Saddam back in '91.
But that's history. You can't rectify that.
No, but you're asking about how to do it. Yeah.
Right. Well, what do we do from here? What does the U.S. do from here?
I think there's no question about they've got to do it in there, but we've got to move immediately on Sharon and the Israeli-Palestinian question. Look, everybody knows that 50 years from now, there is going to be an Israel, there is going to be a Palestine, and they're going to have to learn to live together. And this Sharon fella, he wants to extinguish them. I've called him the Bull Connor of Israel because, yeah, I admired Yitzhak Rabin, Barak. They all knew you had to get together, give and let live. Not Sharon. He wasn't going to let anybody live, and he's still doing that. That's got to stop. We've got to get that road map to peace going quick.
Who can do that?
The president, and he ought to. He's got to. I mean, if he's going to play Karl Rove politics for next year's election on that one, then we are going to be in trouble. That's why it's difficult to answer your question. But he's got to get, of course, a semblance of a Democrat. But don't get all swept away about democratic governments. I mean, Mexico is democratic. Canada is democratic. They voted against us. Turkey is democratic, Muslim country. They voted against us. So everybody's waving a wand around here, well, we're going to have something democratic and all the problems are going to be solved. We have got to be a little bit more diplomatic, a little bit more humble and less arrogant and smart aleck and braggadocio about you either with me or against me and that kind of stuff.
And what do you see as the consequences of this disruption of the alliances, the fact that the Turks, the Russians, the Germans, the French, and all these are not with the U.S. in the current situation in Iraq? What's the spillover effect in the next round?
Well, to try to bring them in and on what terms so we can get them and their help with medicine, with food, with operating and everything else like that, they've got a lot to contribute. We can't afford the entire bill of running Iraq. We're not affording the entire bill of running the United States. We've got over $500 billion
And the
government
cost,
in the red,
and
right
the
this minute,
cost
right
of,
here.
the cost of running Iraq could be enormous.
Oh, yes. It's going to be. They ran the fellow out of town, Lindsay.
Well, Congress,
Larry Lindsay, he used to be the economic counselor and so head of the President's Council on Economic Advice.
Sure.
He said it's going to cost $200 billion. Here, run him out of town. Anybody that's realistic and doesn't talk the Karl Rove line, I mean, you gone.
Senator, will Congress say no? Will Congress say?
Oh, Congress is saying no
afford?
right now with respect to tax cuts. That's the last thing we need. Look here, we ran a $428 billion deficit, right, last year, and that ended just at the end of September. Now the president's budget called for $554 billion without the cost of a war. We've already appropriated for this fiscal year 80, so that's 630 plus the 420. That's over $1 trillion going in a year to a year and a half period. $1 trillion hadn't stimulated the economy. Sober up, fella. It hadn't stimulated the economy. What's additional 30 or 50 billion a year tax cut going to do? I mean, dividends. You think anybody with the marriage penalty is going to stimulate the economy? They're trying to get tax reform, and they're taking the people for stupid, and thank goodness for George Vinovich, the Republican from Ohio, where the president is right this minute, trying to get out there and change his mind. For Olympia Snowe, the senator from
Republican
Maine.
senator from Maine,
Yeah,
right.
oh yeah, they're good and they're conscientious about it, just like me. I mean, look, I've got nothing but Republican friends all over this state. If I had to depend on just the Democratic vote, I'd have lost the last election. So I'm not that partisan. I know how to get along, and I know how to work with business leaders. We started industry in the state, so this president here has got to cut out the politicking and run the government for a change.
A couple things related to South Carolina and this war. One of the things that you've been interested in is the port security bill and providing the security for Port of Charleston, obviously, but all American ports. What is the threat to the ports right now?
Well, go right to Osama bin Laden. Lloyd's of London says he owns 10 vessels and he's got control of 10 more. So he took one of his vessels into the port of Mombasa, the port at Kenya. His terrorist team jumped off and blew up the embassy there at Nairobi in Kenya and the embassy in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Got back on the ship and left. So you can look at it and he can take one of his rust buckets, because we can't tell about every ship coming in. We got transponders on planes, and so any plane approaching the coastline, we know. We don't know that about all the ships, and we're trying to supplant and play catch-up ball on that, on all kind of security measures. But he could get, let's say he used 5-man crews. He could get a 4-man crew, they only have 8 on those oil tankers, and take and get on a regular Exxon tanker, go up the Delaware River, and just before they get to the tank farm, throw the captain overboard and everything else of that kind, run the thing into the tank farm, blow up the tanker, the tank farm. That would close down the eastern seaboard for at least a year. It'd close down the stock market, according to Booz Allen, and all like that. So it's not just containers and some kind of anthrax in the containers. The ports are the most vulnerable, high-level kind of thing. He's done it in Sudan and Yemen, I should say. He's done it with the USS Cole. He's done it there in Kenya. And so we've got to be very, very careful about our port security. And just a week before last, the governor, Sanford, in order to respond to the orange alert, he had to send parole officers down because the National Guard, the reserves and all in South Carolina and active duty, they're in Iraq right now.
So what then needs to be done, even with the port security bill? It's
money.
It's just money?
That's why I fault the president. He's all hat and no cattle. I mean, he talks about security, Homeland security and everything else. We passed a bipartisan port security bill last year. It was my bill, 100 to nothing. All the Republicans, all the Democrats.
$2 billion, was it not?
Yeah, and when we got over to the House side, the White House put on the brakes and said, we're not going to raise taxes. So I said, all right, excuse me, if we're not going to have a tax, we'll have a user fee. which amounted to about $16 a container. Here, Pfizer or GlaxoSmithKline can bring in 40,000 pounds of drugs and add $16. It was just a user fee, and they even opposed the user fee. So the other day, on the Homeland Security emergency supplemental, I said, this is an emergency, and I cited what Governor Sanford had to do. They're organized now down at the Port of Charleston. They've had a sort of dry run of responsibilities and everything else like that, but to get the added security, the added equipment and everything else of that kind, the Coast Guard needs more money, the ports need more money and everything right down the line. So I just said, $1 billion, let's go. For the airlines that went broke, they didn't know how to run an airline, so we give them $3.5 billion. Come on. It's for the airlines because they don't know how to run airlines. We know how to run ports. They've been all successful, but we don't want to give them any security, and the White House opposes it.
Senator Glenn McConnell here has proposed a naval militia, South Carolina naval militia, as sort of an auxiliary in the anti-terrorism effort. Is that a good idea?
Yep, you can expand on the Coast Guard auxiliary because they're out there right now in the Cooper River and around the port of Charleston, and that's the nucleus. And if you can expand upon it, and I think that's the whole point. There's Glenn McConnell, they're the people. They're ready to sacrifice. They're ready to get to security and everything else, but not Washington. No, we're not going to pay for anything. We just go PR it. And you know how they control the news. They act like they're doing something and absolutely they had leave no child behind. They're 11 billion behind. That's how much, I mean, they didn't put the money to it. So it's all eyewash for the campaign.
With the Leave No Child Behind, you're talking about education. One of the concerns in this state right now is because of the economic crunch, that thousands of teachers may be put out of work in the school year coming ahead. Is there anything the federal government can do to
Well, let's start with
that?
the state government. Cut out all the cutting taxes. We don't need an income tax. North Carolina's got a higher income tax with the so-called 7%. I got the industry started. No, they're not stopping coming to South Carolina on the kind of income tax.
You're talking about stopping
the
Governor
state
Sanford's
ought to pay its
proposal.
bills and cut out running for re-election. They're responding to the needs of a campaign and not the needs of the state of South Carolina. Similarly in Washington, it's the needs of the campaign, not the needs of the country.
So don't look to Washington, start here.
That's right, to start here, and then in Washington too. We got a 38%, the tax rate in Vietnam, Korea was 77%. So we don't have high taxes, we already cut them in half. We're not paying anything. Good gosh, when we increased the taxes in '93, that got us to fiscal responsibility under the 8 years of Clinton, they said, oh, the world was going to end. We were going into a depression. Oh, we had the 8 years of the strongest economy in the history of this country. Yes, sir. We sure did, because we acted for the needs. We're not acting for the needs. It's all Karl Rove. It's all what the campaign needs. It's all the little message for the night. He'll run out here and run out there and everything else of that kind.
Karl Rove being, of course, the president's counselor at the White House.
Yeah, I wish he'd talk more to Secretary Powell. I wish he'd talk more to some of the others in the cabinet and cool it off and stay in town and talk to the members of Congress. No, you don't get to see him.
You don't have much contact with the president?
No, sirree. He's running around, and let me give you the news. There was an argument once between Ted Koppel. There was a Ted Koppel and Mike Deaver. No, it was Jennings, Peter Jennings.
Peter Jennings and Michael Deaver.
In your backyard, yeah. And
Was,
Deaver said, look, y'all don't put on the news. I put it on. He said, oh, no, we do this. They said, no, we go out 2 weeks ahead of time. We put the scene. We make up the talk. We underline the little buzz lines for TV and everything else. And y'all all do it because the next fella might. And so we making the news. So I came to the Citadel. And I got on the plane. They put us in the back. We came down to the Citadel for the president to do away with the ABM treaty. So when we got off, they had a long list of local Republicans, Carol Campbell and the rest of them. Lindsey Graham wasn't there. Later on, I said, Lindsey, what? He said, I wasn't allowed to come because I was for McCain. I got in the motorcade.
This
It
is
was
in
my
the,
car.
this is in the time frame of the 2000
Yeah.
primaries.
And,
Okay.
no, this was after the primary.
After the primary.
And so we got down, and I was on the 32nd car over in Somerville, and we came in the side door. We sat in the back, and I'm sitting in the dark, a Citadel graduate, the senator, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, this is sort of shabby treatment in a way. And I looked to my right, and there was General Grinnells, the president of the Citadel. And I said, General, did you see the president? He said, no, I was told to sit here. That right next to him was Leonard Fulgham. I was told to sit here. That's how to do it. And we got back on the plane and went back. So they had the flags.
You're talking now about campaign politics.
That's right.
Presidential campaign
That's all it is.
politics.
It's campaign politics.
The
That's
Michael
right.
Deaver that you referred to was of course President Reagan's sort of image master.
And that's what we got in Karl Rove. You asked me about him, and that's about him.
There may be an analogy there. Let's move into the presidential political arena then, because you've taken us there, and the Democrats are coming to South Carolina. In fact, they've already been here in good number, but on May 3rd, there's a Democratic debate. The so far announced, I think it's 9 candidates for the presidency. What do you think of the Democratic field as it's shaping up for 2004?
Good field. You know, you start with Joe Lieberman, who got elected. He got the most votes for vice president already.
There, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you read your friend Haynes Johnson's book about the Clinton years, and he relates it, and he analyzes that thing pretty accurately.
Is this a chance for the Democrats to, as a party, to re-engage, to reconnect, to actually sort of have the field to themselves for a while in the
If they can
primary
reconnect
run-up?
here, Charles, in South Carolina, they can reconnect anywhere. This is the most Republican state that you'll find.
Well, exactly. What do they have to do?
And the media here is totally Republican, right on down the line, and everything else of that kind. But the candidates out there trying, and the main thing now, unfortunately, is money. And they are collecting 4 and 5 times the amount of money, particularly since hard dollars.
Does it matter what the Democrats do in South Carolina?
Oh, yeah, and that's why they're coming. And it'll be a real balanced state with respect to racial matters and everything. You got a higher one to stand up in New Hampshire, but you've got a good black leadership, the head of the Black Caucus last year, James Clyburn and everything else of that kind. So they're coming down and they're politicking, and I've refused to sort of endorse or lean towards any particular one because I want them all to come. If Clyburn endorsed somebody, or if I endorsed somebody, they'd say, well, the heck, that's the state. Not that I could carry the state, not that he could. But
more advantageous to
and they'd
have
say, well, heck,
more Democrats.
I'll put my time and money somewhere else. So we've been very cautious to get them all here and give them all fair treatment and everything else of that kind. And we're looking forward to it. And Mary Landrieu is going to make the Jackson Day dinner. And
This is the senator from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Is the Democratic Party in South Carolina in disarray?
No, it's getting organized. Dick Harpootlin's done a good job. He didn't have all the little meetings and everything else like that, but he handled the chairmanship very well, and you've got 2 candidates out now running for the chairmanship, and they're going around and they're calling on the local chairman and everything, and we're in a rebuilding stage, and I'm encouraged.
But you still say it's a Republican state.
Oh, good gosh,
so
yeah. Oh, my
there's
heavens.
a limit.
Yeah, they last week they're still running anti-Clinton columns. What in the world is Clinton? I mean, who's thinking about Clinton last week? They're thinking about the war, President Bush, and other things. But my hometown paper is still running them.
Is it the fact that it has become such a heavily Republican state? Is that something that gives you pause about running again?
Good. I had to come from behind in '98.
Well,
give you pause.
So you've proven you can do it.
I've gotten elected 7 times, but I'm a realist. And if it hadn't been for good old-time friends and my wife and I, and we broke and went in different directions, we never could have carried. We got a lot of good help, but I'm going to too many funerals. We're losing too many friends at my age.
There was an article in the paper a couple of days ago that said you'd only raised $6,000 in the first quarter, and Congressman DeMint, the Republican, has raised $380,000. How much is money a factor in your contemplation here?
Money's a big factor. There's any question about it. Yeah, that's it. That's nationally the situation too. How are you going to raise them out? And now Bush is, you know, he bought the nomination. They had 7 other candidates in there.
That's your assertion.
And that's the fact. He bought that nomination and said, I don't need any public money. And after he bought the nomination, then he bought the election.
The last Senate race here cost $10 million, Alex Sanders and Lindsey Graham. Is that the going rate for a Senate race in South Carolina these days? That's what it would take?
Yes, sir.
We've got 15 seconds left. Are you likely to be a candidate in 2004?
You're still back to the original subject.
I like to begin and end in
I
sort of
answered the question.
I'm just trying to...
You made yourself famous by not being political.
I'm not. I'm just trying to
That's
see
right.
if you can help us along
and now
here.
you come down here and trying to join the public, leave Bandy and the Republicans. Let them sweat.
All right, Mr. Bandy, take note. Senator Hollings, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. We're out of time for this show. Thanks for joining us on Stateline. I'm Charles Bierbauer.